Welcome back to Sustainable Transportation again. This is the office. It looks like it may stay permanent. I keep loving this place. So if you've seen other videos, you will be familiar with this location. So today I want to review about Carvana. I'm a first-time Carvana customer, and I'm a first-time EV owner. So I wanted to give you my thoughts on Carvana and why Carvana? Well, Carvana is something different and new. I used purchased cars in dealership, used and new dealership, and I know the experience. Everybody talks about how bad it is, and I think for the most part they're correct. Of course, there are exceptions, but I want to take a look at something new with Carvana, and it offers an online experience that you only get from Amazon. And honestly speaking, I think most people like the Amazon experience. You go and you look at something you like. There's no haggle, no one pressuring you. You review all the features, you even take a look at what people say about the product, and basically you self-educate yourself and you take a chance, you buy it. And in some cases you return it. And Carvana is not different from that. They give you that 7 days to try it out, and then you can return the product. So I wanted to see also, is that true in some ways. So I went to the website, very easy and simple, and the experience is like you would expect. You find the car that you want. You do your little research on the website, see if you really like all the features, and then you click a button that says get started. Once you click that button, you have to fill out the information for you to purchase the car. And most of the time, I think I would say 8 out of 10 times you'll be able to fill it out without having calling support or a Carvana advocate. In my case, I had to call Carvana advocate, which is fine. I even recommend that you call Carvana advocate if you get through the entire thing. There's some documents that you need to upload. They don't tell you what it is. Just so you know, it's your pictures of your driver's license back and forth, and also you need to register your car, and you need to upload the registration to them before they do delivery. I don't know if they call you after that. It's very possible since you put the information there, and the delivery is pretty quick. At least for me, it was within 2 days. So they have to call you at some point just to let you know that you need to upload these things. But I would just call them, tell you the truth. So for me, I called them because the bank that I was using was not compatible with whatever package they were using, so that they can verify that I had my down payment there, because I chose for a loan, not to pay in cash. And they had to do a three-way call between me, them, and the bank. And pretty much the bank just verified that yes, the money was there. The other thing is that once you get your car, the delivery of the car is also pretty smooth. I waited. They sent me a text. They sent me a text actually that it was going to be a little bit late, and because of that, I had to wait 15 more minutes. The person that delivered the car, I'm going to probably show a transition of the actual delivery. She delivered the car. She was very sweet. Everything was amazing and great. She knew I was a new EV owner, it seems. I came out with my camera to film it. Once I received the delivery of the car, I went and around my block, tested it out, tried to find out a few things. Of course, she was very helpful, indicating how to shift between a reverse and drive and neutral. She did have a problem. She didn't understand how neutral worked on a Nissan Leaf, but that was okay. I figured it out on my own. In the end, everything went great. I told her that she could leave, and I was off driving my car. I tested it out for a few days, like 2 or 3 days, and I realized that I really liked the car a lot. And because I liked the car a lot, I wanted to get the technology package, and I wanted to get the SL package, which also has the leather seats and the Bose speakers and all that good stuff that guys normally like. So I decided to call them back. The Carvana advocate told me that yes, you're eligible for a swap. And do you know what you want to choose? I told them I want to choose the same car, higher trim. They sounded a little bit surprised. They thought I was going to choose another car. And they had some type of glitch. I was happy they had some glitch. I'll tell you why. Because I started looking, after she put me on hold for a while, I started looking at the Carvana website, and I realized there was a better deal. The deal that I was going for was $2,000 more than I paid, which sounded logical. But there was the same car, higher trim, lower mileage, and it had $1,000 less with all the packages, the technology package and the weather package included, and it had something the other one did not have. This one came with a charger that can do 240 volts as well as 120 volts, which meant for me that I didn't have to buy a $800 EV charging for the garage if I opt to do a 240 charging or level 2 charging. So to me that sounded great. She came back and spoke to me and asked me, I see that you already have another car on your account. And I said, yes. I want to just verify we're talking about the same car. I gave her the stock number. She said, yes, that is the one that I'm looking at. Says that's the one I want to purchase. And they basically said, in 2 more days, it's going to come. We're going to swap it, take your car, current car, and swap it for the new one, and you can then drive off with the new one if you like it. Perfect. This time around, the delivery guy wasn't so nice. He was I don't know. He didn't call me. He was over half an hour late, and I started getting a little edgy. I thought maybe something went wrong with the delivery, and I called Carvana up. It's very easy to reach out to them, and I told them that I'm concerned that is there something wrong? I haven't heard from the delivery guy at all. And they told me, no, everything looks fine. Everything, the person will be there, I'm sure. I'll give them a call. I waited another 15 minutes, got edgy. I called them up again. I told them the same thing. And within another 5 minutes, the delivery guy called me, told me that he was late because he was delivering another car. And that was a late delivery, and it just trickled down. And then all of a sudden, but I just wish that he would have just given me a call and or text me or something and said, I'm coming late. The other lady did that, and as long as you tell me it's on its way, I'm fine. I can control myself and I can plan for that. That day I was working, and because of that, I needed to go back to work. So lucky I had a colleague of mine that was very nice and helped me out and pretty much filled in for me while I was getting the car delivered. So once the guy came, he was very nice, and I took delivery of the car, went around the block, already knew most of the stuff. The car felt a lot better than the previous one, just feeling it accelerating and decelerating. It just felt like a more newer car for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe I was just excited that I was getting a better car. But in the end, I took delivery, and in the end, I found out that there was a problem with the CHAdeMO charger. I wasn't able to test it out immediately because I had other things going on that week. Because of that, I had to come back home and then uh, test out the chattel charging, because that was the only thing I didn't test. I was definitely testing the level 2 at home. And before I accepted it, um, well, if you go back, they called me and they told me today was the last day. So that kind of got me concerned, and I wanted to test everything. And that was the only thing that I had to test. So I went out, I tested it, and I went to Electrify America. The Electrify America gave out an error message saying, whatever, that it's not charging. So I decided to, after several attempts, I decided to go to an EVgo that I successfully charged the previous Nissan Leaf. And that one was also giving me an error message. I got concerned. I went back home, I called them up. I was concerned that it was the end of the day because it was past 5 o'clock and I don't know what time these advocates work up to. So when I called them, I told them that I'm having this problem. They immediately put my mind at ease and said, it's fully covered because you have not gone over the 7 day for sure. So don't be concerned. And I'm going to write this down for you to let them know that, you didn't reach the end of the 7 days. I love the advocates. They're great people. So they told me that I can get this fixed. I thought they were going to do something similar to Silver Rock and say that Silver Rock will be able to take care of it. But no, they told me that go to a Nissan service center near you and we will pay for it all. And they told me what to do so they can pay for it. I went to the Nissan station. They didn't know much about Chattel. They never heard of it. I was like so confused. I actually did call them up and asked them if they service EVs, and they told me yes. At least the lady that accepted the call said yes. And when I go to the actual people that are going to take care of it, they tell me they'd never heard of the word chat demo. I'm like, this is ridiculous. How can it's like you go to a place that takes care of a regular gas car and they've never heard of a gas tank. Let's just say 80, I want octane 87. Or I want regular. It's like, what the heck is regular? What is octane 87? What the heck are you talking? And I want to fill up my tank to make sure to tell you that there's some type of leak and it's not working. I never heard of that. So I kind of got pissed, honestly, because of that. Anyhow, going forward, they initially said that it was working because they were charging it with the level 2 charger. And I told them I know it can charge with level 2. I just want it to charge with Chattel. They said we don't have the Chattel equipment, and level 2 is what is recommended by Nissan. And I'm like, I understand that it's recommended by Nissan. I do have a Chattel charger on my car that I want to use for quick charging if I decide to go on very long trips. And I told them that since they never had any experience charging the Chattel, then I'm willing to take them to a Chattel station and show them the error, and so that they can see it with their own eyes. So the technician got in touch with me and he says that he's never done this before and he's going to look into it. And once he looks into it, he might put me up and say, yeah, we'll go to a Chattel charger and so on. I said, fine. They called me back again and they told me they found the problem. It is a cable that is broken in the Chattel, and that they're going to charge $3,600 to Carvana. Carvana already agreed, and that once they get the cable, which was coming from, seems to be a very far distance, it was going to take a while. They made it sound to the point where it was going to go over the weekend, and I was going to receive it Tuesday the next week, so it was going to be like another 5 days. I was a little bit concerned it was going to take that much time, mainly because I'm concerned whether can I swap it again, type of thing. I shouldn't have that concern because they were very nice and they told me that that they already had it marked down and so on. But the point is that they also told me that they charged my battery to 100%. I don't know if that was true or not, but I believe them to be true. And I decided to go there on a Friday that I had off and check to see if the battery was at 100%. And if it did, I wanted to tell them that I wanted to move the car around because having it charged to 100% is kind of harmful. So I go there. I didn't tell them that I was going to go there, by the way. It was all spy-like, really fishy. I wish I had a video of it, but I don't know if I have the guts to do it. So I got into the car since obviously I have another key, and I turned it on and it was at 86%. I was like, oof, 86%, that's good. I thought they had it at 100%. I turned on the AC anyhow because it was hot, and I wanted to discharge a little bit of it anyway, which AC doesn't take up that much. You have to stay there for quite a long time for you to discharge it. So now I decided to get out of the car and then go out and take care of some errands. And there were some stores nearby the area that I could do my errand in. For about 10-15 minutes, the stores were somewhat far away. I started doing some shopping, and I get a call from Nissan. And I was like, oh, what's Nissan calling? Well, they told me your car's ready. You can pick it up anytime you want. I say, sure, I'm right here. Can I pick it up in 10 minutes? Which is the amount of time that I needed just to walk to them. And they said, no. Can you do it in 30 minutes? Because we have another customer ahead of you. And like, sure, no problem. I'll be there in 30 minutes to pick it up. And they said, on top of that, we gonna have you drive with the technician to the Chatham site so that he can demonstrate that it's working. And I said, no problem. So I putz around for 30 minutes in the area. It was hot outside, so I just stayed indoors in a nice, cool store, making look like I'm looking around for something. And I started heading out in 20 minutes, so I can be there in exactly 30 minutes. And once I got to that location, the mechanic basically said, so we're gonna go to the site and not the site, the charging station, and we'll see if it charges. I said, sure. He got in there. By the way, I want to put out a video on what we talked about regarding EVs. If you have a chance, go and take a look at it. So once we reached the charging station, it was in Electrify America. I connected the charger to it. I then immediately took out of my pocket my phone, and with the NFC, I put it against the credit card thingy, and it started the process of charging. We waited for about, I don't know, if you go to Electrify America, you wait like about 15-20 seconds. It feels like forever though. But the lights on the Nissan Leaf started blinking, and then the technician says, oh, it's charging. I said, well, I want to give it a few minutes just to make sure that's the case. And I was actually looking at the Electrify America, and it showed like for me to charge up just 17%, it was going to cost $5 and change. I was like, wow, that's kind of steep. I thought it was going to be way cheaper because they do it by kilowatt, not by time. And when you go to EVgo, they do it by time, not by kilowatt. And I've had my experience is that when I've charged with EVgo, it was like $11 for me to, I don't know, to get it to like 80% from. I think it was a better deal, honestly. I don't know if it was. I charged 20 or 30% of the battery when I reached the EVgo, but this one didn't seem like such a great deal. Maybe they're almost the same. Anyhow, I don't know if I'm going to use any of them if I needed to really use it, because and another video that I created is free DC fast charging. You might want to be interested in looking at that if you want to know if there's anything around you, around your area, where you can get free DC fast charging. So we ended it. When we got back to Nissan, the technician told me that I had to basically sign some papers. I went there to sign it up. The lady looked at it and told me, you owe $3,663. I said, what? Carvana said they were going to pay for it. And then she looks more, oh yeah, it says $0 here. It's like, that is strange. Let me give a call. She calls, someone says, I have a customer here that it looks like it's a $0, but it's $3,663, and he says that Carvana is paying for it. He said, the person said, yeah, Carvana paid for it. I'm like, okay, well, she gives me the paper. I will show you the paper. I just don't want anything personal. I'll probably show it up on the screen anyway, for you to just see. And I was on my way, except the guy told me, did you come here alone? I said, yes. Did you come in the car? I said, yes. Says, you need someone to pick you up, because you need to drive this car back too, unless you're going to leave your other car. And I'm like, oh, you're right. I'm going to have to call my wife and get her to drive over here for us to go together, so she could take the car I had. I will have to go and pick her up and bring her back, let's just say, with the car that I have, and then we can all go together. And that was pretty much the end of it. I recommend Carvana. I would definitely use them again. They were a really pleasant experience going forward. It's something that doesn't happen too often. But I'm gonna end the video right here. Hope you learned something from my story, and hit the subscribe and like. Have a great day.